Hey,
Hey, welcome, Super Seeker Creatives. Our question for you today is, do you want to be free from all of those adversaries who just don't get it? I'm Dean Regan, and this is Rich Smith. And today on New Thought Tuesdays, we're going to talk to you about how to get rid of all those people in your career who you think are in your way and blocking your success. This may be the hardest lesson that you will ever learn, but when you do, you'll be on your way to living your highest and best life. Now, we're all on our way to living our highest and best life if that's our intention, and we pick up the tools along the way. Today, those tools will be surrounding the idea of when you find yourself locked in a battle with egos that don't appreciate you or the creative spark that you have to offer, your tendency may be to judge them as adversaries and opposites. And we're going to focus on the secret to transforming those relationships. So
transforming the relationships.
transforming those relationships.
Yes.
So welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. Hey, Rich.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Or
Yeah,
if you're on the East
afternoon.
Coast as I am, good afternoon.
Yeah. So
Or if you're
transforming those.
in London, good evening.
Yeah, or India, good evening. So
Or
anyway,
India.
yeah, transforming those relationships, adversary versus um what's the opposite of adversary? Well, there's
Someone who is completely on your side, a
yeah,
compadre.
yeah, yeah,
That's what we're this to take the idea of hmm, how do you take those adversarial relationships and make them go away? So okay, if you're new here, you may not know that Rich and I are on the spiritual journey, and we talk about changing your thinking to change your life, which then
yeah,
changes not only your world, but the world and the universe around you, the
yeah,
universe that your world is in. So when we talk about these adversaries and changing them, we're really going to go into terms of how you can change your perspective, which will change your involvement with these people.
yeah,
But please hold, once you change your perspective and you get a higher sense of what we're all here to do and who has the power and what power there is, then these adversarial people not only change because of your perspective, but they also start falling away from your experience. Either the people who are in your playground will demonstrate less and less adversarial tendencies, or they'll just go away.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. He who fights by the sword dies by the sword. So, if you're fighting against somebody, and somebody's opinion, somebody's energy, then you get that conflict. What you have to do is like in Kung Fu or karate, you go with the punches. You don't try to fight them and be up against them. So, I had an experience once where we were producing a film, and I wasn't being given credit on the end piece. Once it was edited, it was done. And I called up the producer director and I said, wait a second, I get a contract here and I get a co-producer credit on this, not only because I co-produced it, but I also shot it as
Sure.
a cinematographer. And there was just a lot of conflict there. But I had to if I went in and started fighting with him, it would have ended up really ugly. But instead, I stepped aside. I did my prayer work. Okay. And prayer is super powerful. He shifted overnight. And the next thing I know, he gave me the copy of the film and it had my name on it, my credit stuff. And then even on IMDb, he put my name on there. So what started out as adversary, and if I fought him against it, said, I'm taking you to court, and that's it, I got a contract and all of that, it would have gone ugly. So transform it, transform yourself, transform your energy, transform your thoughts and your feelings, your emotions about the thing. And it has no other way to go but to affect the person that your adversary. They shift, you shift, they shift. It's all energy.
Yeah.
You shift your energy, they shift their energy. So instead of fighting them, I just called them out on it and let it go. And it worked out.
Well, but you also, and this is where we go with most everything, that idea of prayerfulness and meditation. When you engage with somebody that you sense is your adversary, you sense they are your opposite, we can begin to walk that back, because there is no opposite.
Yeah.
There is all a oneness. And I had a situation many years ago when I was in a national tour, and I was brought into this national tour, and I was the new kid on the block. And there was all kinds of adversarial, I sensed it as adversarial information that was going on in this first leg of the tour. And I really engaged with it. I really engaged with it by calling it real and trying to separate from it. Bad and wrong, bad and wrong, bad and wrong.
Yeah.
As wisdom has invaded my awareness over the years, I had another situation in a work situation where there was one person who I was completely allowing to get my goat. And they were more than happy to be that person. I saw them as inappropriate. I saw them as adversarial. I saw them as vindictive and proactively negative. This was a real prayer opportunity for me. And I would love to say I went home and prayed and it was done the next day.
Yeah. That's the way, that's the magic.
Well, but I can't say that, unfortunately. What I can say about this particular incident was that it required long-time awareness of my spiritual path, this other person's spiritual path, and my ability to know my truth. Now, this person stayed in my universe. They kept being moved around, so they were not particularly present. They were eventually removed from my universe. But the more that I focused on this oneness, their unique quality of creativity, their fear, their sense of oneness or lack thereof, it lessened and lessened the adversarial situation.
Yeah.
It didn't become best friends. And to be honest with you, they're not on my Christmas card list. But it is a way to allow the miracles to unfold in different ways for yourself. This ability to pray. So a prayer of forgiveness. So this would involve the ideas of forgiveness, identifying judgment and stepping away from judgment, identifying your judgment for the person in the music hall or the set or wherever on the stage, wherever you're involved, identifying those people and feeling a sense of oneness from a spiritual standpoint, and from a human standpoint, allowing yourself to disengage.
Yeah.
That's treatment and moving your feet. What are you going to do spiritually? And then what proactively are you going to do from a human standpoint? It may be separating. It may be asking some inquiries of this person. It may be engaging with them to develop understanding, or it may be disengaging because there's far too much fireworks on their end. But knowing the sense of forgiveness and separating yourself from the sense of judgment.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the master from Jerusalem who said, that we should not be judged. He was saying that if you judge someone or something, you're going to be judged by that, just by the fact that you're judging. And also, a lot of times you judge yourself too. You know, you were bringing up this whole idea of forgiving, and the master also said, "Forgive them; they know not what they do."
Yeah.
But I had a situation with my former wife who were fighting over custody. And I want to go a little deep here, because to me, this is what prayer is that we were fighting over custody of my daughter. I mean, spending tons of money on attorneys and fighting. And I ended up getting every other weekend. And it was like, this isn't working for me. Every other weekend, seeing my daughter. She was only 2 at the time. It was horrible, horrible time in my life. But anyways, to make a long story short, I went to my practitioner after fighting, and I said, "That's it. I'm going to take on the power. I'm going back into court again, and I'm going to get custody of my daughter." And we did a prayer treatment for the oneness between my wife and I. There's just one thing happening, and that's God revealing itself in and as and through my former wife, my daughter, myself, that presence we wanted to call forth. And we did the prayer treatment. And then I called her up and I said, I want custody. And she goes, okay, you can have joint custody. Just like that. It was like days afterwards. I don't know what shifted, but it shifted. And then a week or 2 after that, she said, I'll sign the papers. You can have joint custody and have her. But it's just like prayer shifts things. Affirmative prayer, when you're affirming, what you want, knowing that there's nothing being withheld from you. And so when I was in the battle, struggling with her, that's all we got for years, was that battle, fighting over custody of my daughter. And the minute I let go and let God, the minute I went into prayer and recognized that the unity between all of us, that there's one thing happening here, God revealing itself in this situation as love, as peace, as harmony, as joy, then all of a sudden that shifted. You can change people. You shift yourself, you do the work, and the people around you will change. That happens all the time with me. Whenever I feel like I have an adversary or somebody is against me, I just go within and find that energy, that presence of oneness and unity. And the people shift, situations shift. I mean, I could go into this really deep, but situations, you can change a whole circumstance around you if you're, having a challenge on a set. And we had one time the camera wasn't working at all, and we had the crew and everybody there. We got together and I did a little treatment. I said, "Come on, my our team thought I was crazy. We're going to do a little thing. We're going to pray for the camera." The camera started working and never ever since then stopped working. And so you can shift things and people and situations and everything through affirmative prayer. Anyways, I wanted to add that to it.
Well, you're talking about prayer, and there is a prayer that has a line in it, "And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." That is from the Lord's Prayer, which a lot of the world focuses on this prayer. And I love the Lord's Prayer. Some folks feel differently about it, but I just love the Lord's Prayer. And I love to focus on the idea that, "And forgive us our debts or our missteps as we forgive our debtors," or those people who are misstepping against us. And what I see is that it's not just forgive us our debts, like we forgive people who are our debtors. Hello, Thaddeus. Thaddeus has come in. But that as the amount that we forgive others is what we get to forgive as well. Say hello to Thaddeus. He's very, very loud today. The amount that we forgive others is what we get forgiven as well.
Yeah.
There is a correlation, but forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. So focus on the forgiveness that we can find. And that forgiveness, that establishes a relationship as Ernest Holmes says, between the spirit within us and the same spirit that is within all beings everywhere.
Yeah. Speaking of Ernest Holmes, you had a little affirmation that we can you can read, right?
Oh,
We're almost
absolutely.
done.
Absolutely. Yes. Before we go, before Thaddeus and Rich and I go out of here into discussion, we have this affirmation, Ernest Holmes. There's a couple of them here. The first one is, and I'm going to put this into chat. I'm going to put them both into chat. Giving and receiving, loving and being loved. I rejoice. I rejoice. Sorry, just flipped off my screen.
I did too.
I rejoice with all creation and find in field and flower and running brook, in the sunshine and in the stillness of night, that one presence that fills everything. I enter into the harmony of eternal peace, into the joy of knowing that I am now in the kingdom of good, from which no person is excluded. And I just love that affirmation. And he caps it off with another sentence that is a full other affirmation. And that affirmation is, my yesterdays are gone forever. My tomorrows stretch forth into an endless future of pure delight.
Yeah.
And that's what we wish for you guys here, that your tomorrows stretch into an endless future of pure delight. I'm putting that into the chat right now for those who are joining us in the conversation today. And if you are not here with us today and you're joining us after the fact on social media, we are New Thought Tuesdays, Rich Smith and Dean Regan. Please go to newthoughttuesdays.com and you can click on, yes, I want to be reminded, and we'll send you a reminder about New Thought Tuesdays, where we gather every week on Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. London time, to share wisdom and love and light with you guys on this first part of the discussion. And then we gather, as we are going to today, with folks to discuss afterwards in our chat room here. So I put those affirmations into the chat. Next week, we're going to be talking about, I accept my individuality. So we will be here with you, group of creative individuals, and sending you love. So we're going to call off for today, and we're going to go into discussion and look forward to seeing you there.
Okay. And so if you just stay on, I'm just going to stop all the recordings because we don't want to record anything that's private, and just stay on, and we'll have some conversations and maybe answer some, questions that you have.
Excellent. And I've stopped my recordings.
One moment.
There we go. And so start video. So let's see who is visiting with us today. Hi, oh, great. Welcome. I'll make it so that you can start your video there you go. If you want, unmute, you can unmute yourself. You can rename yourself, and you can start your video.
And we have a new visitor here, Giacomo.
Hey, how are you? All right.
Hi. Good. Glad to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
Doing great.
Really enjoyed following you the last couple of weeks. It's been really good. Really enjoyed it. And connected with your thoughts there. It was really good. Very refreshing.
Yeah. New thoughts.
I love it. I love all of it. It's been great to so I just I connect. I understand where you guys are coming from, and I just enjoy that. So it's all good. And the whole creative and love and all that is, that's my playground, I think,
Right. So where you from? Where you broadcasting from right now?
Well, my parents immigrated from Sicily
Yeah.
back in the 50s, and they started their lives here in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, nice.
So I'm from Toronto.
Awesome. Must
Great.
be cold. It's cold up there now?
No, it's actually been very warm, to be honest.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. They're anticipating a really, really cold next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people up here are looking forward to it. I live right by the water, the lake.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
they're waiting to freeze over, and then they can go skating and do all that stuff.
That must be beautiful. Is there a lot of snow?
There will be, yeah, there will be. There usually is,
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you
That's
guys?
good.
You're from Boston, are you?
Well, I'm in Los Angeles now, originally Boston,
Oh, right.
and Dean is from Los Angeles, but he moved to,
Newark, Delaware. So I'm on the East Coast and Rich is on the West Coast. So would you pronounce your name? How do you want us to refer to you?
So it's Giacomo.
Giacomo.
Yeah, Giacomo. It's like
love
Jacob,
it.
but I'm like an Italian Jacob.
Is that what it is? Okay, Giacomo,
Yeah,
love
it
it.
stems
Great.
from Jacob, James, yeah.
So
Giacomo.
Giacomo, the topic that we're talking about today has to do with that sense of forgiveness, or how we deal with adversaries. And what is your venue? Are you a creative? Are you in the film industry, the music industry? Not in any of those industries?
No, film. I've been in film for many, many years, and love it. Yeah.
Okay, great. What is your position there? What is your focus?
So I own the company. I'm a director, executive producer. I just creator.
Great.
Yeah, I started off doing a lot of music videos and then many years ago, and then became the Walmart guy. Did all the television commercials up here in Canada,
Oh,
and then did a lot of that, and then got into live events, and then made a movie called The Messiah: Prophecy Fulfilled. And now I'm working on another movie right now, and still blessed with some good clients. So I keep, thank God, it's keep busy.
so the Messiah, the movie. So you must be a spiritual seeker.
Well, yeah, because I had a really great opportunity to work with Jewish believers, Jewish Christians.
Jewish
Who-
Christian. Oh,
Yeah, and they called me up and they said, "Listen, we want you to shoot." They actually saw some commercials I did here in Canada, and they called the network, and they saw my phone number. I put all that in my slate, and they called me. They go, "We wanted to do a commercial just like that you shot here in Toronto, but we want to bring you to Israel to shoot that." So I was freaking out. I loved it. And then on my way to Israel, did a lot of research and got a front row seat into all the Holy Land, and all the holy sites where there's hundreds of people. We're literally like, we blocked off like hours, roped it off, and it was like my location for like 2 hours in each
Wow.
I mean, it was like mind-blowing. And then the people would say, "Giacomo, do you realize where you are standing right now? This is what took place."
Yeah.
And everywhere I
Powerful.
went, it was like this first front row seat VIP treatment into I'm a Christian, so into the Christian walk, but I respect all religions, because I think
Yeah.
we're all seeking God
Yeah.
and our creator, so but as a believer in Christ, I was transformed. I guess it would change me a lot. And then I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I know
No, this is great. It's good to get to know, our audience.
But on the flight back to Toronto, my client said to me, "Listen, Giacomo, we want to talk to you about," we became very good friends, and said, "Listen, we want to talk to you more about some of the things that we want to do. And the next thing we want to do is about the roots of Christianity, where it started right after, Jesus died on the cross. There was it all started with the Jews. and they had a big problem because, even though it started to flourish, they quickly became, they started to get, assaulted, really, because it was like, how dare you call Jesus the Messiah,
Yeah.
And so that started. And so this movie takes place 1 year after the resurrection. And it really is the story that continues on to this day of Jewish people that become Christians that go back to their families and say, hey guys, listen, we got to talk,
Yeah.
So it's interesting because our topic today has to do with adversarial situations requiring forgiveness.
Mm.
And I wonder what experiences you had in the producing of this creative endeavor that you were involved with between yourself and others, or between others and others, an adversarial position, and how did you navigate it? Where do you feel like you navigated it successfully, and where did you feel like perhaps you would navigate it differently today?
Wow, that's a really deep question, Because, and just like you both, I listen to you. I do very much like what you do too, is you pray, and I prayed. Because as you know, in the creative field, and I want to ask you guys questions too, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of insecurities.
Yeah.
Some people fall to drugs or alcohol, and others lash out and get angry because inside they're scared. And so understanding that, I bring that to my work, I think, all the time. And I study the people and the behaviors around me. I don't really listen to words too much. I watch, and then from there, I can understand the temperament, and try to resolve things. Like, to be honest, in my church here, I decided this year to help them during COVID, because we were shut down for 3 years because of COVID. And it was a very dark time, because for us anyway, for me and my company, to try to navigate through that.
Yeah.
And thank God we did. But I said, you know what, I'm going to just go to my church and say, guys, this is what I do. I want to help you guys. And in doing that, I was met with such, the pastor was fantastic, but such a problem with hatred towards me from people that were in control of production there, found me as a threat.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it was kind of like, I don't think you understand. Like, I do this out of love. I just want to help you guys. But they were, at the end of the day, it's always one or two people. It hasn't really fully been dissolved, and it's saddened because I thought in church the opposite should have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I
Hypocrites.
realized that people are people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in saying all that, I don't know if I answered your question, but I think love and prayer really, at the end of the day, works. But sometimes, like myself, my parents are Sicilian. There's a part of me that can turn, and sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to get angry, especially, I shoot all over the place. I produce different live events throughout the US, and every city I go to is you meet all new people, and sometimes they play games, like especially with the unions. They start to slow down. They want to make the extra 4 hours, and you already know what they're going to be up to. And there's always one or two guys that you got to talk to them and say, listen, on day one, you guys say, listen, guys, I'm here all week. Don't play these games. And if you do, you're gone. And you have to do that sometimes, because because the project comes first.
Yeah.
And so there's conflict, but I think if you're upright and you say, listen, I know what you're doing, it's not going to work with me.
Yeah.
What's the problem? sometimes that works. Other times people just want to fight.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. When people want to fight, what do you do? How do you use your Christian teachings to be able to not do that? And I think that's what our conversation, right, Dean, was about today,
Yeah, sure.
is when you get those people that want to fight you, and what do you do? What do you do, Dean?
Yeah.
Well, it brings me back to the whole acting industry, because I started my career as an actor, and one of the things you would do in a character is you would learn so much about that character. You would explore and play and write stories, and you so much about the character. And then you've got your lines that okay, great, you've got the line down, and then what it is that you want, and then you let all of it go and you go play.
Yeah.
So it's very similar in the spiritual realm, in that when we treat, we pray, we meditate, we journal, we visualize and vision. When we come to this with an intention of love and an intention of clarity and honesty and respect and integrity and creativity, when we started the day, the week, the month, the year, when we've started it from that position, then we can show up from a position of, okay, I get that this is the game I perceive as being played. And it may not be the game at all that's being played, but it's the game I perceive it's being played. So I'm going to take my belief, my intention, my desire, my divine desire for integrity, and treat you with the integrity that I see in all people.
Yeah.
And then it's like treating and moving your feet. And if you start your games as you were perceiving them, I will also take a stand to say, okay, here's how this is going to go down.
Yeah.
And you can, it's kind of like a kid. You can put your hand on their head as they're hitting at you. You just spiritually distance yourself to a point where I'm going to appreciate and allow you to be whoever you're going to choose to be. And I'm going to know there's only one source here and one presence. And I will stay committed to that as this resolves in harmony. Unfortunately or fortunately, it may not resolve in harmony in an instantaneous healing, but I am aware and consciously committed that this is resolving.
Yeah. You have the
spirit.
intention of resolving it, not of fighting against it.
Yeah.
A lot of the work that we do is very like metaphysical, where these are my beliefs. Okay, it's not what's real, but my beliefs that you can change, like I said in a little dialogue there, that you can change your environment. You can when I go into something, I pre-pave the way. I vision for how I want this to unfold. I see it in my mind's eye, how everything is unfolding in perfect order. Because in the mind of the infinite, in the mind of God, everything is unfolding in perfect order. So if you can connect your mind and infinite mind as one mind, so if you can vision and see how beautifully this is going to unfold, it will unfold in that way. If you go into it with, Jack's going to be there today and he's so adversarial and I'm going to have to fight him and I don't know how I'm going to deal with this guy, that's what you're going to get. So you picture Jack coming in all happy and, oh yeah, I was thinking about what you were talking about and you're right, let's do it that way. You vision it and it will come to pass. It has to, it's law. You're setting a law into motion, like physical laws. 2 + 2 is equal to 4, a mathematical law. E = mc squared, scientific law. There's spiritual laws, and it's the law of cause and effect. You're setting a law into motion for that thing that you want. You're creating an infallible law for this to open up in perfect harmony so that everything works out perfectly. And it does. At least for me, it does, because I go into it with faith.
Yeah.
With the faith that I believe I'm working with this unlimited power and presence that's working in and us and through me, and it's perfect, whole, and complete. And it's bringing me the right people, places, and circumstances and things to make my life the kingdom of heaven within.
Yeah.
So
Big-
excuse me, I'm
and-
sorry, I went on a tangent there.
Well, but then the extension of that is sometimes sometimes the demonstration doesn't appear the way we want it to.
Right. That's true.
So it does unfold perfectly, even if it doesn't seem to be unfolding perfectly.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so as we maintain our sense of clarity that good, I behold good in all that I experience, and this or something greater is unfolding right now.
yeah.
I love it.
That's what we want to focus on.
I love it.
That's what I want to focus on. And I love, Rich, because you've got stories going back and they're demonstration stories. You've collected stories that are full expressions of this is how principle works and see how it worked. And I know that this supports and guides you as you unfold in challenges that you have on a day-to-day basis. I think when we know that there are demonstrations, we identify the demonstrations, we see the prayer and the demonstration, not just the I want. Oh yeah, I got that. Oh, I want. Oh yeah, I got that. It's the whole arc of acknowledging, yes, and it unfolded in perfection, and this is how it unfolded.
Sure, but if you keep saying, I want, that's telling the universe that you don't have, so you're not going to get it. You got to turn that around. As I'm looking forward to this unfolding of perfect order. I'm looking forward to this relationship being healed between me and this adversary. So the more that it's, when you say I want something, that's the universe doesn't know the difference between I want and I don't have. It's like you don't have it, so okay, you're going to get more of not having it.
What the universe does know is if the script says I want, coming from an acting standpoint, if the script says I want, and the intention is I don't have,
Yeah.
Right.
if the feeling tone of I want is
right.
I don't have, then yeah, you can say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and it's going to mean as much. It's like I don't have, I want. I've worked with clients that just are so steeped in lack until boom, get it. They get it. It's like, this is a game. We're playing a game here. Yeah. This is fun. I delight in the fact that I have a divine urge to have $1 million in my fun account.
Yeah.
I delight in having this desire. So yes, this is what I want. This is why I want it. And this is how passionate I am about getting it.
Yeah.
So that it's the feeling tone, because I get you when it's like, if you say a prayer that's a beseeching prayer, oh God, please don't let these people work my last nerve anymore. Please God, make these people go away.
Yeah.
Not exactly the prayer that we like on New Thought Tuesdays. We're going from not the beseeching, but the affirmative prayer.
Allow the divine love to be expressed in and as and through them.
Yep.
Yeah,
allow that. Yep.
I love it. I'm looking forward to this. Even learning your mindset, the way you guys approach it. I love that.
Giacomo, you'd mentioned, thank you. You'd mentioned that you had some questions. Is there anything you want to ask specifically of Rich or myself or both of us?
Yeah, like I'm okay. So first of all, I don't know you guys, but I love you guys already. I think it's great. I love your heart. And I love where you guys are going with this. Question. I'm blessed and I love this industry. Love it. Mm-hmm. And I'm blessed to work in it. And I don't take that for granted. And I look at you guys and I go, how did you guys get started? And where are you guys going? So I love that. So either or.
Okay, cool. Rich, you want to start?
Okay. I started out in the entertainment industry. I graduated from college. I was in college and I started working for my professors, started a video company, and I started working for them and grew and learned the whole business. We did music videos, commercials, stuff like that. And then I came out to Los Angeles and started co-producing films, and as a cinematographer worked on feature films and stuff. And then I got to a point where I was just being called to teach spiritual principles to creatives in the entertainment business because they worked for me. And if I had known what I know now back then when I was young and starting out, I don't think it would have been such a struggle to work my way into the entertainment business. I think it would have just flowed because, as I was going to say, Dean, something you mentioned earlier, that I find that through prayer, that those times of okay, let's talk about adversaries. Those adversaries, right, that come into your life, there'll be fewer and fewer and fewer. Because you're shifting and you're in this vibration, the universe, these people won't even be attracted to you. That the people that let's say you got to shoot, you're hiring people on the crew, shoot. The universe will give you the people that are vibrating with you, with that love, intelligence, energy. Those are the people that'll come your way. Those are the people that be your crew. And then all of a sudden you're working in harmony. So those adversaries, situations where things aren't working for you are less and less. My life is just unfolding perfectly, in perfect order because of the work that, Dean and I do. And it's just miracles every day happen in my life. And a lot of it, and we'll talk about this later, Giacomo, is we do a thing called a prayer treatment. It's a 5-step process, super powerful. To me, I believe it's the same consciousness that the Christ had when he was, healing the sick, raising the dead and all of that.
Right.
But we can talk about that another time.
Okay.
But basically, that's it. I'm being called by Spirit to teach spiritual principles to filmmakers so that they can. I always thought that I was going to produce a film that inspired, enlightened, and win an Academy Award and would change the consciousness of the planet. This was my big thing. I'm going to do this, right? It didn't happen, but because I'm following the spiritual path, I am teaching other filmmakers like you that are on a spiritual path to break through the blocks that they're having so that they can produce those films that I was going to produce, and only more so because only one guy producing a film. Now I got thousands of people out there that I can teach that are filmmakers that want to make films that change the planet, change the consciousness. And that's what I'm being called to do right now. That was my unfolding.
Wow, love it.
So we
Dean,
work
how
from,
about yourself?
well, we work from a place of changing the world, using
Change your
film,
choice.
music, changing the world. And that's the direction that we want to go. And we also recognize that it is helpful to be able to help people have the spiritual acuity to deal with, in this case, union representatives. Yes, we want to change the world. I got it. And there's times in the day-to-day life where there's all day in the day-to-day life where this information is really helpful when it looks like there's a negative situation where you can understand the power and the presence that is always present, regardless of what is appearing before us. So that's what we do on New Thought Tuesdays. Just for me, I come from a performance background. I'm an actor, singer, dancer, did Broadway, did national tours, did regional, did equity waiver, did all kinds of stuff. And I became a licensed spiritual counselor, a practitioner with Centers for Spiritual Living. I come from a Christian Science background. So the Christian Science is actually a Christian religion. And then I moved into a science of mind, which is a more of a new thought, ancient wisdom, as we like to call it. And so Rich and I teamed up a couple of years ago. I had 2 colleagues who said, you got to talk to this guy, Rich. And so we started talking, and we've developed New Thought Tuesdays. And where we're going with New Thought Tuesdays is we're building our community. We've been building our community and reaching out. And I so appreciate you being here today. It's a joy to speak with you and have your energy here, Giacomo. We anticipate and that we will continue to do this and grow this. And it's like every New Thought Tuesdays is like, for me, it's like Sunday service on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
It's just focusing on the things I want to focus on in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's good, eh?
So that's
By the way, I wanted to be with you guys last Tuesday, but I had a meeting and I couldn't change it. So if there's Tuesdays that I can't make it, I'm going to watch you guys regardless anyway. But just so you know, I'm going to try to make every Tuesday. Okay. Just so you know.
Okay. Well, we'll be here for you, and we look forward to that. Now, Giacomo, I did put in the chat just now. Are you signed up to get reminders about New Thought Tuesdays?
I think so. Yeah, because I got the email today at 11:30.
Great, excellent.
So
Great.
yeah, it was great. Thank you. It's wonderful, guys. It's so good, eh? Like, it's so good. God's good. He's got us, like he keeps our feet going and gives us visions and the wisdom to go through it. I love it.
Yeah. I always say it's no coincidence that you're here or I'm here or we're here.
Yeah.
That we're led, we're guided.
And by the way, that it goes back to that conflict thing, because many times I find myself, not many times, because what you said earlier, when you're good and you go out trusting that the people around you are going to treat you the way you treat them, right? And doors open where people start to give back to you that you didn't expect, and then before you know it, you got this team that's working beautifully together, right?
Yep.
But it all starts here. If you give it out first, they come back and they gravitate, right? So but in the beginning, I used to think to myself, when there was conflict, I used to say, well, God, you put me here. You gave me this job in this town right here. I'm supposed to be here. This is my place. So God, help me make this work, because it's got to work. I'm here, and it really is amazing, right? But it's our mindset too, right? It's all connected, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Ernest Holmes, who we studied, he says form is mind in action, meaning the form, everything of your life is mind in action, that you think thoughts and those thoughts become things.
Yeah.
So that's what we say, thoughts become things in New Thought Tuesdays.
And isn't it true, when you work on a scene, you're working on a script, you're preparing for something that's in your mind, you're putting that into action, just like we should do in our own lives. When we, we write our own scripts for our lives, and God guides us, right?
Bingo.
Yep, rewriting our own music.
Writing our own music.
Our own
writing
script,
our own script.
music. Yeah,
I love it. Hey, I'm producing a show in Disneyland in California next year. So if you guys are there, I'll meet up. If you guys are there, I'll meet up with you guys.
That would be great. Can we get passes to Disney World?
Yeah. If I get a pass, you get a pass.
Disneyland or Disney World?
That would be Disneyland. You're right.
Okay,
Disney World. I was in Orlando. Yeah.
Rich is right down the street from Disneyland. So
yeah, are you really?
Yeah. Well, he's in Los Angeles, so it's 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's
congratulations to you. That's really terrific.
Yeah.
I think our time's up pretty soon.
Thanks, guys.
Giacomo, can you do us a favor? Would be really appreciated. Can you write us a little testimonial, something, what you got out of this session? Just a little note.
Yeah, but listen, I'm concerned about, I don't know if I don't know. Let me tell you why. My concern is that I don't want my clients to think weird of me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a great topic. When does the God within me just seem like it's weird?
I hear you.
Absolutely.
But I will do that. But my concern is that it goes out there and then people go, Giacomo, what's this guy doing? I don't know. Do you feel can I think about that for
no problem. And it was just a quick.
We are doing our due diligence in social media, Giacomo. We're like those spiritual warriors that are out on the web. It's like so that's great. We enjoy coming back, listening to our stuff. Be there. That's fabulous. Do that which feels comfortable to you.
And for privacy too. That's why we stop the cameras. We don't record any of this interaction, which is great.
Yeah, I love what you guys are doing. I respect what you guys are doing. I feel it. I know it. I know it's great. And I guess respect you guys for being like, for going out there and saying, here, this is who I am. This is what my beliefs are.
Yeah,
And I hope you come along with us, you know?
yeah,
And in a way, I'm not there yet. I'm looking at you guys, I'm looking up to you guys and going, you guys are wonderful. I just don't know if I'm ready yet to say, hey, that's the way I am too. That's the way I don't know.
Giacomo, you produced and directed a film called The Messiah,
yeah,
Prophecy Fulfilled,
yeah.
that supported the Jewish culture embracing the Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
You're already out there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I was like, you're leading the way there. So anyway, we let us call a gentle close to today and complete with this affirmation, which we like to call kind of a thought focus of the idea that giving and receiving, loving and being loved, I rejoice with all creation and find in field and flower and running brook, in the sunshine and the stillness of the night, that one presence that fills everything. I enter into the harmony of eternal peace, into the joy of knowing that I am now in the kingdom of good, from which no person is excluded. My yesterdays are gone forever. My tomorrows stretch forth into an endless future of pure delight. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And so
If
it
you
is.
want to keep any of these comments, you can download the chat. You have the ability, you can go down to chat and download the chat, but we will see you next time.
Thank you, Thank you, my friends.
All right.
Giacomo, it was nice meeting you.
Ciao, all the best. Take care. Talk
Okay.
soon, okay? See ya.
Ciao, love it.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Hey, that was interesting.
That was fabulous.
Yeah,
That was
Giacomo.
fabulous. That was great.
So he's in the middle of the church. He's touched
Mhm.
upon some spiritual stuff. He wants to learn more.
Well, but I suspect that he is, and at the same time, the idea of Jews for Jesus is remarkably adversarial. I've spoken to folks who are friends of mine, or at least acquaintances of mine over the years, who have considered that a horrible path, that someone who should be a Jewish would appreciate Jesus of Nazareth and the Christ. I had one person who was a neighbor actually call those people sick, a Jewish neighbor of mine. And so he has had that exploration of, I mean, I can understand him not wanting to do a testimonial after one time. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I think we should probably allow people to come in a few times and say, hey, you know what, folks, we're looking for, and here's how we're going to do it. It's going to be your first name and your final initial, or where you, how we'll put it any way you want in. Thank you for supporting us in that way.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I'm glad that he brought that up, because now it gives us that opportunity to recognize that that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Way wow. And I got a little ambitious there. I was like, ooh, let's start getting testimonials. Let's get testimonials. Because he seemed like he had a great time.
He did.
You know, Jews for Jesus, to me, if you ever been around born again Christians, okay, they're the epitome of a born again Christian, because they were not just born again, they were born out of their religion into this new Jesus is everything. And, you know, you can't get to heaven until you see Jesus. And it's too religious, becomes too Christian. anyways, that was my experience because I was with I was with some born again Christians and hanging around with them, and and it got really scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But good. What a delightful exchange. What a delightful exchange. That was really just, I was really thrilled to have Giacomo there.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I envisioned this
Yes,
whole thing
I'm
happening.
going, I'm listening to him and I'm going, okay, Rich, this is what you have envisioned. This is who you want to talk to.
Well, yeah, not just that, but what I meant was to envision just like ideas, throwing out ideas and
Right.
and solving problems and
Right.
solving situations.
Mhm.
And as we move on with this guy, Giacomo, he's going to open up and we're going to find more things that he needs help with.
Yeah.
As a producer and all of that.
Yeah.
And
And maybe
you know,
even Lynn Blair will come back.
eventually we can turn them into clients, you know.
Oh, hold on. I turned you off. There you go.
Eventually we can turn them into clients, you know, because we start solving their problems.
Yeah. Right now, I just
No,
want
he
to,
would be somebody that you could get in a weekly group coaching for $37 a month or something.
Yeah.
So for somebody like that would be like, yeah, I want to hang around with you guys even more.
yeah,
I'll pay $37 a month to sit in a
Yeah.
you know, group coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good. It shows we're getting people that have made movies and
yeah. See,
have his own production company.
I would also like to point out that we did that right after or he came to us right after we reached out on social media with loving, appreciative comments. That's what we had done just at our 8 a.m., 11 a.m. session today, is we reached out to those two groups, appreciating what they did.
Yeah. But he didn't come from the group. He's been following us. But the energy.
I'm just talking energetically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the more we do that, the more people are going to come. Okay.
That was fun.
Do you have a meeting?
I'm going to take my mom to the doctor. So I need to go through, we need to go through the script for next week. And then let's see. Let me pull up our script for next week, which is the 24th. I accept my individuality. Now there are diversities and gifts, but okay. Let me write the social media tease.
24. Okay.
And then I'll let you know when it's done and you can take a look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then that'll be great. And then I can start posting stuff early.
Okay.
I haven't been on top of that because I have to know that it's complete the way it is. And so what you do is if you fix it, if you do it now, the next time we get together, we'll go over it, make sure it's just the way we want it to, and then I can start sending it out.
Okay. Yes.
During the week. Okay.
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 Good
Are we
work.
done?
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Steve.
Good work. All right.
Yeah.
I will see you later.
Okay, bye.